Okay, so my video cut off because my exercise ring was closed. Yay. But as I was analyzing Psycho Sally over here, my psyche, like I was saying, have you, like, okay, so your inner voice is always giving you advice, unsolicited advice or opinions. And he said, okay, just stop for a minute when your inner psyche, or Sally, I'm gonna call her, she should be called Sybil because she's crazy. Sorry if your name's Sybil. I don't really mean that. But it's just a joke, just a name. It says to stop when your inner voice starts going off and giving you advice or, opinions, and stop and say, what credibility does Sally have? And how many times has Sally been right? But yet you still listen to her. And, and like he says in the book that, you don't ever care about your psyche, inner voice, when things are good. You don't listen to its opinions. You don't listen to its advice. You just ignore it and keep going on, about your merry way. It's only in times of distress that you turn to your psyche, like it has, all this wisdom and knowledge, and it's going to guide you in the right direction. And, that, got me to thinking the other day, when I was sad and, I was letting my mind wander and, Sally talking to me clearly. And, it was unbased claims, there was no factual evidence, that I was basing my emotions off of. It was just me, that voice, Sally, in my head saying, oh yeah, look at this, look at that, look at that. Oh yeah, you're not this, you're not that, you weren't included in that. Okay, yeah, nobody picked up the phone and called you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who cares? 3 days ago, I cared, because I'm sitting there letting that inner voice feed me these thoughts. And they're unfounded, they're just made up, just based on what I see. Like it says, you only focus on and replay in your mind things that are relevant to you. You just keep scrolling past whatever else that's going on in the world, and you only focus on things that relate to your past, your present, or your future. And so that's why it's always in your mind, and your mind's always going. And it's the world around you could be completely different, or other things can be going on, but you're only focused on what matters to you. And that's what you constantly are having an internal conversation with all day long. And I did that, when I was trying to watch that show. And like I said, I literally could have choked myself if it was an actual human being sitting next to me, because it was driving me insane. And that goes on in my mind all day long, and you don't really think about it until someone asks you to do an exercise like that, because you're just so used to having that voice all in your head, and having that internal dialogue that goes on throughout the entire day and never seems to stop. And it's always random things. It never makes sense, Mine, was about basketball tickets and dinner, and then the groceries, and then the laundry, and, and the dog snoring. And then, why is it so hot? It's December. It was just random things all over the place. And none of it mattered. And, he says, then once you examine that, then you realize how much of your time and your day you spend worrying or thinking about things that don't even matter, that you create the problems in your own head. And like he says, that one of our problems with listening to our psyche is that, we, at least I put off on these mosquitoes are still attacking me. One of these, I already lost my train of thought. See, Sally was swatting mosquitoes and took over my thought process as they're trying to bite my fingers, because I guess I didn't put off on my fingers, so they're swarming around me. I don't remember what I was talking about. Lost it. But I don't know why I'm getting eaten alive right now. They weren't bothering me a minute ago. And I turned the corner, and I swear I have like 15 of them on me. And they're everywhere. And like I said, I did put off, but they seem to have found the places where the off missed, and they're huge. And see, Sally's talking again. We're supposed to be talking about my psyche, and Sally's taking over. But I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about. No clue. Guess I'm gonna have to end it there because I can't even remember. I got so overwhelmed by mosquitoes attacking me and Sally worrying about where they were at that Christy forgot what she was talking about. And can't remember. And I'm sure I'll remember once I turn the video off, but I completely have lost it. But I can't wait to read more of this book because it's very interesting. You know, that was just one exercise. And it was a huge eye-opener on how random my thought process is and how I'm that's what it was I was talking about, how you create problems and then you look for solutions. You create problems in your mind and then you look for solutions on the outside when you're not going to find them because they don't exist in the outside. They exist in your mind. And so in order to solve the problems, you have to figure out what part of you it's creating a problem in. And only then will you be able to find a solution. You can't look outside when your problem is from the inside. You created this problem. And it's like if you have these problems that your mind's always going to bring them up. You know, you're never going to be problem free because you're, like I said, he says your psyche's always rambling nonstop. So, you know, you fix one problem, but guess what? Then you replace it with another because there goes your psyche coming up with something else that's wrong. And it's a vicious cycle. It's nonstop. And then you seek for the solutions in the outside world when the outside world didn't even create your problems, you did. So I thought that was interesting. And you know, I stopped reading there so I could get this walk in before I have to go get my lashes refilled. And then I've got like a work event, a virtual event from like 11 to 5. So I'm going to be glued to my computer then. And I'll probably have a terrible headache because when I stare at my screen too long, even with my blue light,